episode 34. Probably.
It is. 34.
Yes, 34. The new episode just dropped. Well, it dropped on YouTube like 3 days ago. I just shared it today.
Great marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one is going to be a little different. We'll see how it goes. Me and Antrovio, just the two of us, back again.
Ebony and Ivory, baby. Damn, that was good.
There was what was I gonna say? Yeah, this one is about kind of just society, I guess, and how we behave nowadays compared to when we were younger, parents and stuff. You know, the big part is technology, obviously. So I'm sure we'll get into that, how that's affected us as well. This might get a little deep, a little philosophical, sociological. I'm not drunk.
Not at all.
But first, as always, the grievances. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Some numbnuts hit the passenger side mirror.
Of your car?
Of my car.
Ooh.
And like, it's still functional, but I have to go and get it fixed. I went, got me some breakfast at Towson Hot Bagel. Delicious place. THB. So good, right? I'm in there for literally like 5 minutes. I come out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And is there a note? Of course not.
Yeah, who would do that?
A sensible person, you know, have to kind of be like, hey, I fucked up. Dude, it was my first time ever behind the wheel. And when I was like, 15? I like sideswiped the person's car. I'm like, oh, wait. Let me pull over, obviously, and let me leave a note saying, hey, I fucked up, I'm sorry. And I was 15, and I knew to do that. So now I gotta pay for that. Goddamn bitch.
So just that. That's you're gonna just.
I feel like the past couple.
Don't hit cars.
I feel like the past couple I've come in pretty hot.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what this segment is for, you know? Just letting it out, this is the time to let it out. Well, that's it. I mean, I have a funny story involving my side view mirror. Back my first year of college, I was parking, and it was me and my one other friend had our cars on campus, and the rest of our group didn't. Not that you really needed it, but it was just good to have, you know, like everything was basically on campus, but occasionally we ventured off into town. And it was 4 of us, and 2 of them got into a fight about shotgun. It was kind of like a running joke with our friends. Every time, the rule was, we played by, you had to see the car to call shotgun.
Yes, I feel like that's just the standard. Like, you can't be like, shotgun, dude, we're still in the restaurant, get out.
Yeah. And so I was in the front. There was this row of like 10 parking spots right outside the dorm, which was the spots everybody wanted.
Yes.
So as soon as we walked out the dorm, they both called shotgun at the same time, and then got into like a little mini fight like the entire time, like pushing each other, trying to beat each other to the car and stuff like that. And they accidentally hit my mirror, and my mirror could bend on my old car, could bend in, like most cars, but they hit it the wrong way where it bent the other way.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so it came out. So my friend, this was right before the school had fall break as well as spring break, so this was like 3 days before fall break. And one of my friends lives close to my hometown, so we were driving home together. So we duct taped it before we hit the road.
Good old duct tape.
Yeah, and I mean, the mirror wasn't broken; it was just the hinge that was broken. So we duct taped it, but then we realized we duct taped my door shut as well.
Oh, damn!
So my friend was like, "No, I got this." So the door's shut. I roll down the passenger window, and he like NASCAR drivers his way into my car. And that's what we literally did the entire trip. Every time we stopped to like switch off or anything, we just like get in feet first through the window because we couldn't open the door.
That's so funny.
We were like, we don't want to take the tape off and retape it, which would have been the logical thing. We were just like, let's just make this as awkward as possible.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And then flash forward 2 years after that, I went with some friends we were in like a convoy. We were going to this party in like a soccer field. We never made it to the party, but it was in like, apparently somebody got a building rented out or something and was just gonna have this huge everybody you ever met ever party.
Okay.
And we were driving through, and we took the wrong way, so I had to like turn around in this, like the back roads leading into the soccer field, and I hit a tree. So I didn't think I hit it that low, like it didn't sound bad, and I kept driving. I was like, oh, that's fine. And then I pulled in to my house later that night. Like I said, the party never happened. We got separated, and it was also like 8 at night, and we're like, this party doesn't start until like 10:30. Like, why are we here this early? And so I like drove home, and I noticed, I was like, oh man, my car's messed. Like that took a big shot. Like I didn't think it was that bad. And then my dad woke up the next morning. I tried to park so he wouldn't see it because I had to go to work the next day. So I thought I could just like peel out early and then hit an auto shop or something. But he like as soon as I woke up, he's like, so what happened to your car? Yeah, it happened again. That's not my grievance. That was just a story because you reminded me. My grievance is Snapchat. And
what? get the fuck out.
I
No
actually have a
way.
legit grievance after this, but I gotta keep this going.
I like it though. I like this.
I hate it when you Snapchat somebody anything, and they Snapchat back something that literally has nothing to do with what you just sent. Like, I'll take a double snap. Like, you respond to what I said, and then in addition to, then you send it. Or with the update, you can have 2 different lines. You know, so you could be like, oh no way. Oh, by the way, like in a separate line. I wouldn't mind that. I've had a few friends do that, but sometimes I'm just like, no, I Snapchat you something to get your reaction, and you Snapchatted to me like your dog, or like doing homework, and it has literally nothing. Like, you're not even like responding with words to what I said. You're just like, oh, doing homework again. I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people like reply just to reply, but not like reply to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he snapped me. Let me snap him back. Let me ignore this paragraph that he wrote on his Snap story. That's all. Oh, that's one of mine. But I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's just. I just respond to what like. Or just don't respond. I'd rather take no response. If you don't know what to say, or if you don't want to, and you don't have a streak of over 100 days yet, like...
Oh, over 100? Shit. Yeah. I try to keep mine as soon as I see it pop up.
Yeah,
we have 3?
I'm like, I'm pretty sure we've had a streak since we've been Snapchat friends.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah, so we haven't been...
That's what, almost 50-something?
Around 50,
like that.
I think we're at like 48 or something, yeah.
Cool.
But Robbie, I'm at like 439, so
I
can't risk that.
I have a friend... me and him, it's like 600 something days, and it would be more, but like it stopped because I was on a cruise and I didn't have Wi-Fi. So at then it'd be probably like 2 years.
I think I saw the record is like 900 something, like 2.5 years.
Oh,
somebody
me and my friend Harlan would break that.
Go for 1,000.
It's over 9,000. So yeah, I just remembered I had a grievance when you said that. People who type paragraphs, like, as they snap you, like, 1, I can't even see what you're snapping, whether it's your face or whatever. 2, if you have their Snapchat, odds are you have their phone number. If it's that long, send them a goddamn text.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten a few, it's like legit, like, 6 or 7 sentences. I'm like, well, I'm not going to... And then they had to set to, like, 5 seconds. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. You can set it to unlimited now.
Yeah, unlimited what? Like, I screenshot it so you be like, oh my god, this creep screenshotted my Snapchat. So then I'm a creep, but I can't read that fast. I'm sorry. I'm that Captain America who can see faster. That's actually one of his abilities. Oh. It makes no sense. I don't know how you see faster, but Captain America can. But anyway, I can't do that. I can't read that fast. So what do you want me to do? It's so dumb.
Yep. Anyway, my actual grievance. That'll be a new thing. Snapchat grievance.
And then actual
grievance, yeah. It kind of has to coincide with what we're talking about as our main topic, but I think just the lack of commitment / saying no among our generation is kind of I've noticed it become a bit of a thing. Like Thursday night during my show. Obviously, I had to recruit people. I won't say the place because I don't know if I'm allowed to or not. But I did a comedy show. Had to bring at least 5 people to get on.
He was hilarious. Everybody come see him.
So it was I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, it's $10 for the ticket. Then it's a 2-item minimum on top of that. But and I get like you gotta commit and all that stuff. But I'm just like, if you can't just tell me no, don't tell me like 2 days ahead of time. Like, I want to, I'll see what's going on, and then the day of say, oh, you know what? Never mind, I can't, I'm too busy. I'm like,
not good enough.
I'm like, either get the ticket so you're committed to going,
yes,
or just tell me, you know what, I probably can't make it. I'd rather be pleasantly surprised that you did make it after telling me no than being disappointed that you didn't make it after initially giving me hope that you could.
Yes.
And I feel like that goes for making plans too. You know, just say no, or just say, you know, I can't, don't not answer, and then that's your no. Like, just say, I can't. Or, I can't this time, but I'll be free next week. That goes a long way. And I just feel like a few too many people are doing that nowadays.
And I guess dipping into our topic a little bit.
Yeah, I think this could segue into our
Oh, it's a beautiful
topic.
segue, yeah. And I feel like part of that comes because everybody's so easily accessible. Mm-hmm. So, through social media or texting, back then, if you made plans with somebody, you couldn't text and be like, oh, hey, I can't show up. Either you just don't show up at all, or you have to show up. Or if you don't, you call them the next day, or you have to see them hey, I couldn't come 3 days ago because of this time. But nowadays, oh, I'll shoot him a text and it's fine. Which is not fine because you still didn't show up, or you didn't let me know ahead of time.
Yeah, that's the whole. It should be easier for you to say no or say what's going on instead of just not responding. I had an incident. This is kind of related. It was last year. I was with our former editor, and it was a Friday night, and it was 6 o'clock, and I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, you want to grab a drink tonight? Because I was like, I don't have any plans. It's Friday night. I know he's off from work. Let's just have a beer or two, and then be back by 9. Not a night out, just a happy hour type of thing.
Yes.
So I text him. He's like, so do you mean going out or just grabbing a beer? Which is a fair question. And I'm just like, no, let's just grab a beer, have a few, chill somewhere for a little while, and then we'll call it a night. I don't plan on being out till 3 in the morning.
Yes.
And he's like, oh yeah, sure. He's like, I'm busy right now, but how about we go out around 8? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll leave my place at 8, give you an extra little bit of time, and we'll go. And then I said I was leaving, and then I texted him as I pulled up, and I was like, hey, I'm here. And that we'll get into that too. But I if I'm driving somewhere and picking someone up, I'll text them. But if I'm chilling at their place, I'll actually walk up and knock on the door or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get into that because I've noticed that change as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm here, ready when you are. And he goes, okay, we'll be out in a sec. And I'm like, who's we? And it was his girlfriend, who I have literally no issue with at all. But it was just the fact that he didn't tell me until he was literally walking out the door that, hey, she's coming. And I'm like... And then we went to a place, had a few beers. I dropped them off, and then he Snapchatted me at 1:30 in the morning that he was walking home from the bars with his girlfriend. And I was like, thanks for the invite, bro. And I even made a joke. We were walking past one of the bars, and I was like, so, you want to go here? Jokingly, and they both laughed it off. And then I get a Snapchat of them walking out there at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, really? And then apparently it was his excuse was that her team, she was on the softball team, I think, at her college, was going out, and she was bringing him just as a team thing because they were dating. I was like, so your friend who majored in phys ed and has played every sport imaginable, you don't want coming to a softball, to a bar full of softball players.
Wow.
Yeah. But the main point is that he didn't tell me about his girlfriend until literally walking out the door.
Yeah.
That extra part was just anger. But But just stuff like that, I'm just like, why can't you, like, I feel like a few people have that theory of like, well, I won't tell them until it's too late. That way they can't get mad. You know, like, obviously I can't say no when I'm waiting for
say
you.
no, yeah. And I feel like also, well, okay, at that point, how long had they been dating?
They got together over St. Patrick's Day, and I think this was over the summer.
Okay, because I know...
I think it was like middle of the summer-ish. It was like 4 or 5 months they've been dating.
And like, I guess in his mind, like at a certain point, it was kind of assumed, like...
Yeah.
If I say yes to something, I'm bringing my girlfriend. Which I don't... With certain things, I think it's a fine assumption. But with other things, I feel like it should be mentioned. Like, hey, by the way, I'm bringing this person.
Or can she come? Yeah. Because with my ex, there was actually a time I didn't know one of her friends that well, and she planned on going out. And she said, she was like, hey, this is just a girls' night, like, and my ex told me, she was like, it's just a girls' night, like, is that fine with you? And I'm like, yeah, like, and I was hanging out with Calvin the same night, so I was just like, yeah, like, as long as the bar was closer to my place than her place, so she was staying the night, and I was just like, I was like, yeah, just let me know when you're coming home, like, don't assume I'm coming with a friend I don't know that well.
Yeah. Like, exactly, of course,
yeah, like, no, let me know, like, ask her if it's okay, or ask if Calvin can come along, but me and Calvin had a guys' night, we watched Luke Cage.
Nice.
And ate Andy Nelson's. and that was a good night.
Yeah, like if I text you, I'm texting you.
Yeah.
Like
we're texting you. Like
yeah, exactly. I'm texting you, not you and your posse. That was almost bad.
Yeah. Brand new mic.
But yeah, so.
But yeah, so I guess to get into what I was saying earlier about the whole picking up, dropping off, I had a friend in high school who was notorious for not coming to the door. He lived 2 streets down, and he was on the golf team with me, so like during weekends or breaks or something, we'd always try to get around to golfing, and he would always like park behind my parents' car in the driveway and then text me. He's like, oh, I'm here. This was like right before cell phones became as big as they were.
Okay.
Like everybody had one, but it wasn't like as prominent as it is now.
Yes.
Like, and he would always do that. And one day my parents were like, we were finishing up dinner, and my parents were like, you know, he can like come to the door, right? And I was like, I think he does. And I shot him a text. I was like, you can come in for a little bit. Like, we're finishing up dinner. I'll be in a few minutes. And so I wait in the car. And he's like, oh, okay. I guess I could do that. I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't think that was. And then I noticed, like, in college, like, that's what a lot of people do. They'll just, like, text you when they're here. Or they won't, like, or they won't knock on the door. Which is a very little thing. I don't
But
mind.
it just shows how much things have changed.
Yeah. Like, that's not something I'm angry at because I just got used to the change. It kind of caught me off guard the first few times. Like, if I text you, hey, door's open, then yeah, I assume you're walking in. But sometimes people just walk in. My ex did that all the time. She'd just be like, I'm coming over. And then, like, when she got here, just strolled in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if the door was locked? Or what if, like, I was doing something?
What if I was masturbating? You know? No, yeah, like, it's definitely a big change. And, like, I'll do it, but usually if, like, I'm picking up and, like, I'm like, hey, like, I'm on my way, so, like, be ready.
Yeah.
But, like, other times, like, I will go up and, like, hey, like, I'm here, like, I'll come in, yada, yada. But most of the time, if I'm picking up, like, a girl, I will be, like, say, I'm here. Because I feel like in this day and age, like, so, like, especially, like, if they, like, still live at home, if the parents see, like, a guy, like, at the door, I'm assuming that they're assuming that, like, it's a date or something.
Yeah.
But, like, if we're, like, actually friends, I'm just trying to...
female friend.
Yes, like, I'm just trying to be polite. Like, I don't want to be grilled by your dad. And I feel like they would assume that we're dating or something. I'm like, no, I was just raised this way. So then I'm like, hey. But if I am actually picking up for a date, then I'm like, hey, let me come to the door.
I actually had a date, man, it was a few years ago now. But literally, like, she lived a little ways away. It's about like 20 minutes away. And I texted her that I was there, but her apartment had the buzz to be buzzed up.
Okay.
Right? So I was like, hey, like, what's your apartment number? And she's like, oh, you're coming up. I was like, well, just to like knock on the door and pick you up, like not to like stick around. She's like, oh, well, like, I'm not, like, completely ready yet, but yeah, I'll buzz you in. And I was like, I didn't think that was that weird to knock on a door to pick up a date, you know, like, just caught me off guard a little bit. But it's just kind of how it is nowadays, though. I've noticed.
And I feel like it's like completely switched from it's expected to now it's like, oh wait, like why are you coming up?
Yeah.
Like it's completely.
That was the thing with my ex. Not to talk to her too much, but her apartment was like that too. So she like cracked the door and then she'd be like sitting on the couch as I walked in.
Yeah.
Like I had to buzz in, but in my place it isn't. You can just walk in.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that in another apartment I was at recently too. I forget what place I was at. I don't know. I'm getting old. Forgetting stuff. But was it Robbie? No, it wasn't Robbie's. Robbie's it has that typical like the staircase, but it's just kind of open.
Oh,
And
okay,
Like you just have your door out in the open.
Yeah.
He has a volleyball net in his apartment.
In his apartment?
No, complex.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one at mine. I saw people playing volleyball like a week ago.
Oh, really?
I forgot to snap you like it's in use.
It's happening. Trying to think what other social. Oh, this is kind of a weird turn, but how do you feel about promposals?
I hate them with a goddamn passion.
I didn't think they were that big when I was in high school, and then the past 5 years, it's like normal to do that, and it just like came out of nowhere.
When I was in high school, so like 2 years after you, the biggest thing I saw like my senior year was this kid, like he just put like tennis balls in the fence and spelled out prom, and like that's it. But I'm just seeing all this crazy shit. I'm like, dude, it's not American proposal.
Yeah,
and I swear the one I've seen that's the worst. Like this kid is an asshole. He was like a runner. So he like ran, I think it was like in total like 10 miles just to spell out prom.
Oh, on the map.
Yeah, so like he like showed her his map. I'm like, your dumbass ran 10 miles just to ask her to prom? Like, I hope you get your leg cut off, you bitch. That pisses, like, why? And, what I hate even worse than the promposals, the gender reveals. I mean, some are creative. But I just hate it so goddamn much.
I don't mind the actual gender reveal. I hate how every single one like goes viral, quote unquote.
And like, why do you
you don't need to like if you get like your closest friends at a barbecue and you surprise her.
Yes, but you don't need like a gender reveal party. Like there's the engagement party if you're engaged. Not going to assume the baby shower and then a gender reveal party too. Like before all that. Why?
Yeah.
That's asinine.
Yeah, but yeah, my it's just I don't. But that I cannot like just don't film it and share it with literally everyone. Like, I think that's the thing with social media though is that the generation I feel like our generation. I don't want to say millennials. It's such a vague term, and I hate that word.
And especially since it goes up to like 34-year-olds.
Yeah,
or
it's like
33.
82 to like 2000. I'm like, that's
like
12-year gap. Like,
it's
like I didn't. 22.
Well,
18.
There you go. So you're a gym teacher.
Yep. But for real though.
Just kidding.
Funny thing is, I taught math last year for like 3 months.
Oh God. Oh no.
Yeah. But anyway, what was I saying about the? Yeah, I consider like our generation. I say 90s kids because like we all grew up in the 90s ish, late 80s, early 90s. Not 99. Those are not 90s kids.
I mean, honestly, like, but 97 and 98 are barely.
Yeah, that's undefined. But I mean, like before 95, you know.
94.
Yeah, and just like that. That's how I do it. Disagree, whatever. I don't care. But for the sake of this argument, like people our age, plus or minus 5, you know.
Yes.
I think we knew how to handle social media well enough that we're not the ones doing this. You know, like people my age are getting married and are doing this type of stuff, but it's always the people who are like 35-ish, you know, like 10 years-ish above us, and they're the ones doing all this stuff. And I think we knew as a not to brag about a generation because we've done some stupid stuff too, but it's just like we knew, okay, it's more of a friendly little thing, not share your entire life on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that plays, and now Facebook is mostly older people because the younger generation, the kids who were born after 2000, are not on it anymore. They realized how bad it was.
Yep. So now they're on the Instagram.
Dude, they're like 12-year-olds on Instagram.
And like not even Twitter anymore. Like
yeah, even Twitter.
which is a shame because Twitter is one of the greatest
I love
platforms
Twitter.
ever invented.
Twitter's
It's
the one
so
I
great.
I probably couldn't give up completely. Like I've thought about giving up Facebook if it wasn't for all the comedian connections.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about doing Sqwadcast and also Peter on Instagram. And I honestly don't think Nikki knew who Peter was when we were discussing it. I think.
You ready?
Yeah.
Introduce her yet?
I don't think so. So, because she had a look like.
Like, is this a dead body? Is he? Do you keep it at the? Is he trapped in your closet? Like, who's this Peter fella?
And where did I go? Oh yeah, and like I don't have Instagram because my theory is anybody who would follow me on Instagram are people who already follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and whatever I'm going to share on those 3 platforms, I'm going to share on Instagram. So what's the point of having Instagram? Like it's the same people. And one of my friends was like, "Well, my Facebook isn't connected to my Instagram, so when I turn to Instagram, you can't see." And I'm like, "All right."
Like, I don't
yeah. Like, okay.
And like, I just don't take pictures that often.
Yeah.
So I feel like the point is for me to have Instagram, which is why I don't have one.
That too. I like look through my pictures for like possible headshots or like profile pics. I'm like, there's not a lot of me. Like,
and like
I take a lot of random stupid.
It's
pictures.
like not of me.
Yeah.
Or like if I do have a picture of me, it's like because the other person in that picture wanted a picture. Yeah. So I was like, hey, like let's just use my phone and I'll send it to you. But it's not like, hey guys, this is a great picture. Like I did that up in Boston. I was like, hey, like let's actually get a picture. And before that, it was like months ago. So I'm just not a picture taker. But I do look good at pictures though.
I don't even know if I took that many of us in Boston either.
Yeah, like
I honestly didn't think about like the cool stuff I saw.
Yeah.
Like there was the high-rise building where you could go to like the 50th floor or something. Yeah. We went up that and I took a picture of the view. And then I took a picture of the bar in Fenway, of that, but other stuff I was just like, I kind of just want to take it in. Like I don't. It sounds like an very old person thing, but it's
that's
old
the thing
people
though.
That are doing that. Yeah.
Like they're like actually experiencing it and not taking a picture for afterwards. Like you can still remember it afterwards.
Yeah, like I'll take some here and there of like the really cool stuff, but like it was just me and my ex, and I was just like, it's our trip that we decided to take a weekend and go. Like I don't want to constantly be doing that
and trying to take the perfect picture.
Yeah,
like
I get one picture, I got
like spend like 10 minutes trying to take one photo because it's not the right lighting or it's someone in the background. Like I'm not here to take the picture. Like I'm here to enjoy this. I did things for the gram nowadays.
For the gram.
So annoying. I hate it so goddamn much. And like I've been asked like at a baseball game, hey, we get a pic of us in front of the field. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I take it. Okay, thanks. I turn around. They ask somebody else because apparently mine wasn't good enough. I'm just like, girl, like, what do you want?
So what I've done, it started out as a prank, but then it actually became like a serious thing.
Did you?
I'll snap like 15 pictures. I'll just constantly press the button, and then I'll be like, I took a few just in case, and then they're like constantly going through because there's like 15 or 20 pictures that I took.
Okay, I thought you would like quickly hit the facing front camera and then take a few pictures of you first and then flip it. Because I've done that once.
I've done that a few times. I've done that.
They didn't appreciate that, so I was like, oh, maybe I won't do this again. Yeah. Not trying to have my life ended.
I've done that with friends, but I haven't done that with random people.
Oh, I was also kind of intoxicated, so I did it. Yeah. I was at a Yankees-O's game, and it was this like Yankee classic douchebag fan. I was like, I don't fuck with him, but he was like, the fuck is this, bro? I'm like, calm down, little dick. You can erase the pictures, buddy.
I was at a Phillies game once with one of my friends. This is the funniest. funniest rejection of anything, still to this point in my life, I have seen. And it was me and him. I think he had popcorn in one hand and then like some souvenirs in the other. And we're walking through, baseball. You get food, you get an entire tray. You can't just get like one thing. Baseball.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, no.
So we're walking through, and there's this person. There's a part of the park that you can see the city, and he'll like take pictures of like the skyline with you, right? So we're walking across from the concessions to the seats. Across this like little rampway, and the guy goes, "Hey, can I take your guys' picture?" And my friend, without even hesitating or skipping a beat, goes, "Oh no, thanks, my hands are full." And keeps it walking. And I'm just like, that made no sense.
Like he had to take your picture.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh no, it just kind of came out."
What a reaction! What a gut reaction that is.
I think it was kind of to kind of get back on track. I remember going to a college party when my brother was in college. It was his senior year, so I was senior in high school, and he was saying at that time, this was 8 years ago, that he noticed a few people would be on their phones during the party and not like so much interacting. And I noticed a few people like on their phones, but I didn't think that much of it. And then I saw the change of what he was talking about. Like nowadays, like it's almost weird not to have your phone out at a party.
Yeah, it's almost like you're together alone, because like you're like on your phone, but you're still around people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a few. Like I'm not gonna put my phone like away, but like I'll take a few pictures here and there, and then like I'll just have it in my pocket and respond if something's like super important. I've ignored people before, like. I literally like ignored my friend because I was hanging out with some people, and I literally just like ignored the text. And then she like texted me a few days later. She's like, "You never responded to that incident." I was like, "Cause it was a stupid thing to be mad." Like she was so drunk, she saw a guy that looked like her ex, so she thought it was her ex. And on her way out, this was on the way out of the bar, she like ran. She started to run because she didn't want to interact with him. But I was like. So you got so drunk you thought someone else was your ex, and instead of being mature and just ignoring him, you brought more attention to yourself by running away.
Yeah. Because
so
what's more inconspicuous than a drunk girl running in a bar?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna acknowledge you, like.
And then it was like that short span of time, like still transitioning from like always being on your phone. It was that small span of time where, like, if you would see somebody, like, on their phone, like, at an event, like, you would assume that, like, they were texting their significant other.
Yeah.
But, like, nowadays, it's just everybody's on their phone all the time, so it's just...
This actually kind of plays back to last week with my mom's catchphrase. She'd like see me on my phone, like, watching TV after dinner or something. And she'd always like try to tease me or get info. She'd be like, "Who are you texting?" I'm just like I'm on Twitter. Like, I'm texting anyone.
Like I've been at the bar and a couple of girls have been like, "Hey, so is that your girlfriend?" I'm like, funny. I'm on Twitter right now because all my friends are in the bathroom, so I'm here by myself. So I'm gonna just scroll Twitter real quick. She's like, "Oh, okay." I'm just like, no. Like Twitter's so goddamn great. Oh my god.
Twitter's fantastic. Also, I mean, like, me and Kelvin's Snapchat incident is still one of my favorite things. I'm not sure if I talked about it.
Snapchat incident? Jesus Christ,
it's not like a bad incident. It was literally...
I feel like you used the word incident and...
Yeah. But it wasn't it was more of a... I don't know what other word to use. But it was just a funny moment that we shared involving Snapchat. And it was
share?
It was during March Madness. We were out for, I think it was St. Patrick's Day. I was at the local bars in the college town. He was in the city. And they had the games on, but when the games ended, because it was on TBS, the Lego movie came on.
Oh my god.
So I was literally standing on the edge of the dance floor watching the Lego movie. And a few of my friends were scattered about, but it was me and two other people. And watching, and I Snapchatted a few people, like not on my story, but I Snapchatted Calvin was one of them. And I was like, when everybody else is dancing, but you rather watch the Lego movie, and he Snapchatted back the same thing. Oh, the Lego movie was on at the bar he was at. He's like, I'm watching it too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite memories of me and Calvin.
I have a St. Patty's memory of Calvin too, but it's very different.
I've heard stories of St. Patrick's Day 2 years ago now.
It's the one at my school.
Yes.
Where we both got roped.
No.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know that part.
Okay. So
at one point he was like triple fisting at one point, but
oh well, that was the whole day. That was a shit show. But yeah, so
I don't remember groping.
Yeah, so him and some friends came up and visited me and Drew at college for St. Patty's, having a good time, and we were in like the big bar there, and we were just chilling, and then some random chick, whilst holding her boyfriend's hand, like starts talking to Calvin, and then just like feels his dick. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And she's like, oh, you want some too? And then she grabs mine, and we're just like, yo, what the hell just happened right now? And
that's
wow,
not okay.
One is not okay at all, especially while holding your boyfriend's hand.
Yeah, that too.
Like he could have turned around, and then me and Calvin would have had to fight him. It was crazy. And I feel like that didn't happen back then either. Actually, probably.
Well, see, it's hard for me at least, because I didn't really, like in high school, and even my first year of college, I didn't really go out a lot, so it's hard for me to compare to what was going on, like, on the nightlife to what's going on now. I can only compare to, like, I mean, my first year of college was fall 2010, so, like, obviously things have changed. Like, it's been a while, but as you heard in my stand-up the other night, I'm so mad I got the Harry Potter, the math joke when I stumbled on my words.
Did you?
When I was doing the math with Nearly Headless Nick, I said the wrong dates.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
I think I lost some people at that point, because that part I haven't done before, and I had more time than I thought.
Oh, so it was
so
still
I was gonna do like this like really nerdy mini monologue about Nearly Headless Nick and the dates that he's celebrating and
Okay.
It's only in the book. They don't do it in the movies. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh yeah, he died in 1492. He's celebrating his 500th death day of the anniversary of when he died. And so, doing the math, that means the book takes place in 1992. So Harry Potter takes place in the early 90s. Just this really nerdy line. But then I said he died in 1992, and then I tried to fix myself, and then stuff happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I also hate how like ghosting is just acceptable.
That's another thing I wanted to touch on. Yeah.
Like, if
in any situation, not just like dating.
Oh,
like
yeah, if anything, like, I hate it so goddamn much. Just like, tell me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm an adult. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna stalk you. I'm not gonna cause a scene. Just fucking tell me, like, why or what happened, or if I upset you, if you have something going on in your life. Like, just don't ignore me. Like, I'm not a goddamn person.
I think. So here's my thing. You may disagree with me on this.
Let me hear it.
I think ghosting is somewhat acceptable in like the embryonic stages of dating. Like, if you haven't even had a date yet, and they say something that's like really messed up or really like you disagree with, and you haven't connected that. Like the line of when
so
you should
before you even meet?
Yeah, like if I like online dating or something, or like if I get a girl's number at a bar or something, and like the next day she says something like really, like or something that's completely opposite of like my morals or something, right? Like, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't the best choice. I feel like I shouldn't. I don't have to go out of my way and say, hey, you said this, and we just met 12 hours ago drunk at a bar. Like,
okay,
if you've been on a few
that.
dates,
yes.
then yes, you should say, hey.
Okay, I think. Okay, as long as the amount of time isn't too significant, if it's before you meet up, I think it's okay. So let's say if you've been like texting for under, I'm gonna say if you've been texting for like under 2.5 weeks, it's acceptable to not say anything. Anything over that, and you need to
kind of explain what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, because like And especially like this day and age, like texting every day for 2 weeks is a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Also a long time to not even meet up. So that's also kind of weird in
that
of
would be
itself.
something else too.
Yeah, so like if for some reason your schedules can't match up, and, you know, I've been texting a lot for like 2 weeks, and after that 2 week mark, you need to be like, hey, I'm not feeling this. It was nice knowing you, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I kind of laughed there. It was, it was a really weird thing happened to me like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years. No, yes, it was last year I think. No, 2 years. It was 2016. I messaged a girl on Facebook back in 2011. So it was my first year of college. She was a senior in high school. We knew each other throughout middle school and high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't just like high school senior, but it was like we knew who each other were and stuff.
Yes.
And I messaged her asking her to a movie on a Saturday night. It was after I got out of college, so it was like May-ish, right? And she never responded. And I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe we weren't as close as I thought. Like it's fine, whatever. 2016, she sends me a message back saying, oh, sorry, I never responded to this. And I'm just like, okay. Like, obviously things have changed, and I kind of totally forgot this ever happened. And
yeah.
I kind of forgot she existed. Like, and she messaged me back, and we like caught up for a little bit, but like that was it. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then the conversation just naturally died, as it does. And then the next day, she was like, hey, how's it going? And I didn't respond because I'm like, we didn't talk for 6 years. Like, I'm not going to respond now. Like, it's not, right? Then it was like, later that day, she responded with, oh, okay, I guess, I see how it is. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, I'm like, we didn't talk for like 6 years. And then you just happen to see this message, and then you get mad when I don't respond. Like, I was like, maybe that was a bullet dodged.
My question is like, one, how did you just randomly, like, maybe she was like purging her messages and then like came across it.
Yeah.
But then also,
how do you not check the date? Like,
and like I get like responding to be funny, like, oh, just saying this, ha ha ha, let's go to this Saturday, whatever. Yeah. Like something funny, not expecting anything. But then to message back and then to be like, oh, I see how it is. 5 years. Do you know how many days that is? How many hours?
Yeah.
And especially in a time where like technology is at its peak.
Yeah.
For you to not see a Facebook message for 5 years, come on now, that's bananas. What a loony bird. Yeah, you definitely dodged a bullet there, buddy. She's the type. Like, you haven't said I love you yet. You've been on 2 days. Yeah, I know.
That happened to me once. This is going into the dating thing a little bit, but we really went on. It wasn't like 2 dates over. It was a long span. It was like 2 months. She just lived kind of far away, and she said that like right after her second date. She's like, "Is it okay if I say I love you?" I'm like,
And it doesn't matter if it's okay or not because you already said it.
Yeah.
Like just asking that, like you said it within that question.
Yeah, and I was just like.
And see, here's the thing. With that, I feel like with most people, you feel it like not like soon, but like you can tell early on, like if you can love them or whatnot. You just don't say it.
Yeah.
Like with my ex, it was real soon. Like I felt it after like a month, but I'm not gonna say that because that's how you scare people off.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I know we've been dating for like a month, but I'm in love with you. They're like, oh, okay, well, and I'm a run creeper. So.
Yeah, mine was like. It was like almost 2 months with my ex, where I felt it, and but I kind of felt like, not that she didn't feel it back. We just had like a really good date, and I felt like that kind of cemented everything. That like, okay, we're on a good path at the time.
Yeah,
and it, like, but I like it was never said. One of my friends asked me that. She was like, "You didn't date for that long. Like, did you ever say I love you to each other?" And I was like, honestly, no, we didn't. Like, it just never came up. Like,
Yeah.
we complimented each other and said what we liked about each other, but we never got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
And like with a couple, like with like a few times, like with my ex, it like slipped out. So my ex twice removed.
Two exes.
Two exes ago. Yeah, it was. It like kind of slipped out, you know, like we were just like doing something like, oh my god, I love you, like like one of those. I'm just like, oh no, like kill me now. So like anytime like I might not realize it myself and I like slip up, I'm like, oh fuck, like I guess I do love this girl, damn. But I'm not gonna say that because it's too soon in.
So we're venturing into dating. When
oh yeah, wow, we got.
I'm gonna put a hold on this until we get one or two other guys involved here.
Yes.
Also the girl episode, I plan on doing that. Keep an eye out for that. While I can, I'm gonna plug that eventually. We are planning with the higher ups that there's going to be a guys episode and a girls episode of dating. I will be on both episodes, but the girls one I'll like be like a moderator. I'm not gonna argue with 3 or 4 girls.
I mean, by yourself, that's asking to die.
But it's more just perspective. Like, what do guys think about dating? What do girls think about dating? So be on the lookout for that since we're on it. But to venture into ghosting outside of dating, as one currently on the job hunt, that I've had.
Oh, I didn't think about ghosting in the job. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've had 5 or 6 interviews so far, and only one of them was for a temporary position, a long-term position. So they literally offered me on the spot for the long term, and then another one like responded like 2 days later with like, sorry, we decided to go with someone else. Every other one just didn't say anything back. I'm always like, at least like email me back. Like, and you most of the time I've gotten one phone call. Every other thing was over email, so they obviously have my email. Just email me back. Okay, we decided to go with someone else. Or,
yeah, I feel like in a professional setting you can't ghost.
Yeah,
like
but it's
if
it's kind of bled in from dating to
like
other parts of life. Yeah.
If they don't call you in for an interview, that's fine. But after they interview you, whether it's phone or in person, they need to let you know, like, hey, we didn't get to, like, that's just so fucked up to do.
Yeah. And it's a big thing. I was actually just reading about it on Reddit the other day. Apparently it's a big thing, like, everywhere. Like,
yeah.
So, based off of Reddit. Which is a solid place. It has its moments, but Reddit's a pretty fun place to venture into. But what were you going to say about not workplace? What other, just like in general? Just like with friends or something? Or people you meet, like friends of a friend, and then you talk to them every...
Like friendships.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you just become friends with somebody and everything's going cool, y'all kicking it, and then out of nowhere it just stops.
Yeah.
Like, do you not like me as a person? Like, did I say something that offended you? Which in my case I feel like might happen because I have a pretty dark sense of humor and a lot of self-deprecation. Personally, not really with this whole PC thing, so sometimes like what I say will slip up and it's like, oh wait, this is 2005 anymore, I can't be saying this. But I also just kind of don't care. So sometimes I'll say something, I'm like, oh, that probably did it, or I'll just be like, hey, like, I don't fuck with you. Like Big Sean. I don't, it will just be like, hey, like Drake said, no new friends. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of a thing with one of my friends. So in college, my entire floor was really close. Like, we grabbed, the floor was split. It was an L-shaped building, so it was like...
Oh, okay.
So there were 2 RVs, one on each side. So the one I was on, not the other side, well, part of the other side, got ventured into it. But most of the people were all really close. Like, we'd grab dinner together all the time. We'd literally take up like it was like the Last Supper, you know? So
just take
up a huge table, and there'd be like 12 of us, like rolling squad deep. And we hung out a lot. We had like parties in the dorm, or the few of us that were 21 or became 21 that year, like would go out to the bars and stuff. And like now it's just like there are a few where we're like, yeah, looking back, we shouldn't have been friends with them. Like, we're kind of glad that relationship kind of ghosted.
Yeah.
But a few of them were just like we lasted, what's that thing? Like, if you're friends for like 7 years and you're gonna be friends like forever.
Mm-hmm.
And a few of them were like 4 or 5 years, and then they just stop. And then some people were like forcing the friendship, because one of my friends, she might be listening, I don't know. I'm not gonna say names or who, but one of my friends, his girlfriend, right, was part of our group because they started dating like right around the beginning of the school year. But then they broke up about 2 years later when we kind of had like the core group still together.
That's how mine was too.
Yeah. So like a few people went their own ways. They either went back home or went to grad school or whatever. So the core of us kind of stayed together. There was like 6 or 7 of us, I guess. And they broke up, but then she kept trying to like still be friends with us, and I was like friends with him first. And like looking back, me and my friends are just like, yeah, like if they didn't date, we probably wouldn't have been friends with her, because that's just the way it happened. Like nothing against her, it's just like if they weren't dating, we probably would have never met. So, and then she kept trying to force the friend. She ended up going back home for grad school, and she kept trying to be like, oh well, I'll be in there. I'm like, well, I've got stuff going on. Like I can't make time for you anymore. Like, sorry. Like, it sounds mean, and I don't mean it to be mean.
No, but it's just one of those things that like
it's just the way it works out.
Yeah,
like I haven't talked to her, and she sent me one Snapchat message, like actual chat on Snapchat, last New Year's, and the last time we texted was over a year ago, and it's just like that's kind of how it is. Like, were we ever that close? Like me personally, I can't speak for anybody else as part of the group, but I was like, I think I've spent just time with you maybe like 2 or 3 times. Every other time was part of the group setting.
Yeah, like, you know, like you may be a wonderful person, but like if you're only in the group because you were dating one of our friends,
yeah,
and you guys are no longer together, like odds are you're not gonna be.
So, I mean, sometimes it happens. Obviously, I'm still friends with. I've been friends with people who have been dating from different aspects of life, like college/jobs, and then they dated, broke up, and I'm still friends with both of them.
Yeah.
We just don't hang out together.
Yeah.
Like, that can happen. I'm not friends with you ever, just sometimes. But to get off this rant a little bit, the ghosting thing, yeah. Because I had a friend in high school. We literally hung out in high school. Every day after school, we were in marching band together, and I played tuba, he played baritone, so we were next to each other in the section. We were in musical together, and then he played golf for 2 years, and so we hung out with each other, and then like on our days off or between seasons, like we'd still hang out all the time, and then in the summer we would make time for each other, try to see each other a few times a week, and then once I moved away for college, it kind of died. You know, he got a full-time job, and he was working there a lot, and then we tried to coordinate when we could, but we also had a very, very specific sense of humor with each other. Like, a lot of inside jokes, so, like, in a group setting, it would take too long. Like, Peter can easily be explained, right? If that makes sense. I'm trying to make sense of this. Like, if I say to you or to Kelvin or somebody else, and I refer to Peter as like my pet, a few people might get confused, right? And then it's easily to explain, oh, it's just a pillow pet, he's a penguin, like that. But like we had like 5 years of inside jokes that have like evolved throughout time. So I'm just like,
I know how that is.
Yeah. So I'm just like, if we're in a group setting, we're joking to each other, and it would take way too long to even start to explain where this joke came from. Like,
so just sit back and shut up.
Yeah, so we would hang out together a lot. We'd hang out in group settings before, but it just like, once we kind of separated, we tried to keep up, but just...
And I don't think it's like ghosting if you try to keep in touch and it just
the timing doesn't work, and eventually
like,
you're both just like...
And just like life happens.
Yeah.
But if you're just like blatantly like ignoring somebody...
Well, yeah, I think that's the difference, yeah.
Or just like not responding, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, as long as there's some effort being put in from both sides.
Yeah.
You know.
There's one of my friends who I was in Harrisburg with, and literally, like, he still lives at home doing his thing, and sometimes when I'm back home, we'll have like a mini reunion of the cast. Like we'll just be like, hey, I got my one friend in New York. You know, she was in Hairspray. And
Yeah.
I'm here and all this stuff. So like we'll get together and it's like we didn't miss a beat. You know, we'll just continue where we left off, which is great. We may not text each other for like a year or 18 months or so, but then we get back together.
It's like nothing ever changed.
Yeah.
And like that's how you know like that's the true friendship right there.
We'll just yeah. But yeah, ghosting is definitely something that's changed as well.
So if I ever piss you off, don't ghost me. Just tell me, punch me in the face, whatever, and you know we Gucci. Because if you ghost me, I know where you live. So I'm just come and kill you in your sleep. So.
Well, Peter will protect me.
Oh, I'll get an elephant seal for him to take care of, because you know elephant seals eat penguins.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a tough penguin.
All right. I went kind of nerdy there.
He grew up on the.
On the what?
On the birds.
on the tough birds of the Arctic.
Antarctic.
Excuse
Get
me.
it right.
Of the Antarctic.
One of my friends. Back when he was one of my friends in college, I was he was. It was 4 of us living together, and he was the one black guy. That we didn't room with him because he was black. He was friends from the floor, and we all stayed together. And I was joking about Peter one time, and somebody like took a shot at him. And I was like, oh no, Peter's half African because there are African penguins.
Yes.
And he just goes, oh, so you're trying to make this a black thing now? I'm like, no, that's not where I was going with this. So.
I mean, although penguins are half black, so.
I mean, yeah.
You know, literally speaking.
This was one of the best, really stupid puns I've ever done.
Oh God.
It was my friend decided to get really sassy with me. Like we ordered a pizza and I gave her a piece of the pizza, but it had something on it that she didn't mind, but she was just like being sassy about it. She's like, oh yeah, I think it had like maybe it was the ham. Like we got like the meat lovers or something. It was one of the meats that she like. See, I love anything on pizza basically.
I love.
But she's like, oh, you got this on this pizza? And she was just teasing around, but I was holding Peter, and I was like, you know what? And then I like made him do a backflip, and then I walked away, and people like didn't get it, so I walked back out, and she's like, wait, did you just flip the bird at me?
wait. Oh, that's funny. Oh, wow. You gave her the bird.
Yeah. I was like, yep. that's what I was going for.
Now
I'm glad somebody got it.
Now that's funny.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe you could like end some of your stand-ups like that. Just, you know what, guys? You gotta suck out the crowd. Flip the bird. Just kidding. We don't like to berate the crowd. Oh, is that shots fired? Oopsies.
That one, a few of them are from the one guy who yelled, and then the guy who was definitely on cocaine.
Oh my!
I was torn because I don't know who he was referring to, but my friend thought it was me. He was like, oh yeah, I had a few people go, and the one guy like reminded me of John Mulaney, and my friend was like, I think he was talking about you, and I was like, is that a compliment though? Because he was definitely on cocaine.
I mean, and I think he actually might have been like dissociating, like dissociative identity disorder. Like he was like, oh, you said out loud. I'm like, who are you talking to, bro?
Yeah. I was like, he was a bit of a smart ass in the pre-show meeting too.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Anyway, that makes no sense to anybody who wasn't there. But
it's okay. Just picture it in your head, okay, guys?
Basically, I did a stand-up show, and one of the comics was definitely on cocaine. Like, absolutely on cocaine.
Talking to himself in the third person, the second person, the first person.
Very ranty, very off, jumping from bit to bit.
I don't think there was
no connection.
There was no connection, no flow, no punch. I don't think anybody laughed. It was just kind of awkward silence and like, somebody get him off the stage.
Yeah. Then he tried to get meta about talking about meeting the owner, and he called him the wrong name, and I was like, ooh.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Probably not coming back.
Yeah, I was like, you are not the finalist. Anyway, well, we're in an hour. Is there anything else? I mean, we don't have a time limit. We're not like we can go as long as we want or as short as we want. Still want to get a few questions, but anything else? Any big changes of how you see people?
See, we touched on dating, the technology,
Friends, the parties.
Oh, just like something small, but I think it's hilarious.
Deer butt.
What? Like, kids these days will be like, my Wi-Fi's so slow. Bitch, let me tell you. I couldn't talk on the phone and get on the computer internet at the same time, buddy. You had to take out the cord. I had dial-up, motherfucker. They talk to me about problems.
Yeah. Just like.
Oh man, dial-up was a thing. And now it's Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah.
What a time.
I feel bad if you're wearing headphones right now. That sound would.
Oh, it did not sound good at all.
That was me making that sound. Don't get freaked out. Imagine sitting someone like in the library or something. What was that? Yeah, I think that was actually another topic I had on our topics list is if we're spoiled as a generation just with everything we have. So not to get too much into
we
it.
could go for, let's say that.
That might be the next episode.
For sure are.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But no, like they complain about like stuff. But Chris D'Elia has a good counterpoint to this in his podcast. He complained about airlines not having Wi-Fi, and people call him out. They're like, "Oh, well, why is that? That's such a first world problem. You can't survive a flight without Wi-Fi." He goes, "Well, it's 2018, and like there's only like 2 airlines that don't have Wi-Fi. They're like, they should have Wi-Fi by now. Like it sounds like first world, but at the same time, how are you not on that boat yet?"
Yeah, but it's one of those weird things.
Yeah, but complain about. I remember like phones having like limits too, like minutes limits.
Minutes. You remember having minutes?
Yeah, minutes.
Oh my god.
Limits and stuff like
you
that.
You had text, minutes, and then like you had like the super shitty internet on like your flip phone, or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like fake internet. It was
yeah.
so.
It wasn't even like
Oh man.
Now I have like 3 different browsers. I'm like
3 different browsers.
That just come on the phone. Like,
Yeah, I have 3 different ones. 2 of them always active on Pornhub. But you know, that's how I do.
Gotta go incognito, man.
That was a joke, guys. Oh, I just erased my cookies.
Or that too.
Cause like God forbid, like my mom gets my phone or something, and she like types in P. She's like, "What is small white girl gets rammed by 3 big black cocks?" I'm like, it's a music video.
Well, that's it. Interesting. Note to end on. Questions.
Oh, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
That popped into my head. Have you ever been in a fight?
Kind of. This is actually one of my favorite stories.
Hit the nail on the head. Let's go, Anchovio.
Basically, it wasn't a fight per se. I'm not sure if I told this before. I definitely told this to members of Squad. I just don't know if it was ever on an episode. So apologies to our dedicated listener if I repeat myself. Basically, I was in the bathroom in 6th grade, and there were 2 other guys. It was one kid from my class, a kid from another class. Because in elementary school, take 2 at a time. You can't let more than 2 people leave your classroom at once.
Yep.
So there's me and another kid. The 2 other kids were, the way the bathroom was set up, because it was a tight quarter. It was 2 urinals and a stall, and there was like a half wall that like covered the urinals from the door, right? So it wasn't as open as most bathrooms, right? And they were there, and they were like showing each other like fighting moves, and I couldn't get by to pee, and so the one kid like tried something. It was like a punch to the gut type of thing, and it was the kid was like, "Well, I can't see it if you do it on me," so they pulled me, and they like grabbed me, and they did it on me. So he like punched me in the stomach, not hard, but like.
And these were just random dudes.
I mean, I knew them. But like it was just kind of like
okay.
Random. It wasn't 2 random dudes in a random bathroom. It was the school bathroom in a small elementary school. Like, and one of the kids was in my class. Like, so like I knew who these kids were. It was just kind of like I'd rather not get pulled into this. Literally. Like,
yeah.
So they punched me in the And they're like, oh, that's how you do it. And the kid who punched me, turns around, facing the urinal, right? And my gut instinct is to like hit him back, but I do like a half Shawn Michaels super kick.
Oh wait!
But like, first of all, it's 6th grade me, right? So I'm like 11, and I hit him in like the back. I don't wind up and hit him. I just go, right? And I hit him, and he stumbles, and he hits his head on the metal piping. Yeah. So he goes straight to the nurse. He's out the next day of school, and he comes back, and he had to get 6 stitches right above his eyebrow.
Hey.
And the principal like called me in when he came back, and like I like explained. I was like, no, they like were. I think I got like 1 day detention, and they got like a week because they're like, you shouldn't have pulled him and punched him. Like you should have just let him be. Like I was like, I only kicked them because like they punched me. Like,
little Timmy's not walking around super kicking people.
And I didn't like grab him and like slam him. And I think I just wanted to like hit his back because he hit me, and then he just stumbled and fell. Like
for sure, yeah.
That's not my intention at all, but that was the closest I ever got to being in a fight. It wasn't even like it was literally that. It wasn't like a back and forth scrum.
Bottom line is, you gave the kid stitches.
I did give a kid 6
so don't fuck with you
in 6th grade.
That's all you. Hey man, you don't fuck with me. I've done got stitches. That's all you need to say.
So have you ever fought anyone?
I've been in several.
Physically, I guess is the question, right?
No,
Physical
yeah,
fight?
I've been in
several.
But my favorite one happened in college. We were just at the bar, having a good time, and this dude tried talking to my friend. She wasn't interested. He wasn't getting the vibe, so I'm just keeping a close eye, just making sure nothing pops off. And then she's like, "Hey, no, like I'm actually interested. Like, leave me alone." So like he just like throws his drink in her face.
Wow.
And I don't enjoy fighting. I don't do it when I have to. I will usually never start it. But I saw that.
There's a way to diffuse it before it gets to that level.
Yes. But I saw that. I just straight punched him in the face. Like, you're a dick, fuck you. Then we just started fighting, going at it. I got kicked out. He got kicked out. But then what made it so good is that this girl was like, hey, I saw what you did for your friend. Let's go back to my office. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah. So, I got lit that night.
There you go.
But I mean, like, and
that's the secret, everyone.
Yeah. And
punch another guy in the face. That's how you get laid.
So you need to have a dude there to get laid. More of the story. No, but like, why would you do that? Like, don't throw your drink in her face. You fucking dick. And like the other fights, like I didn't start it. Like I'm like, like fuck you, like whatever. Like I don't want this problem. You don't want this problem. Yada yada. Wouldn't work. He pushed me. I'm like, I really need to don't do this right now. So they can push me. I'll push them back. Then we just start scrapping. And obviously, I haven't won every fight. I've lost. Gotten my ass kicked, but I always put up a good fight.
Mm-hmm. It's alright. I laughed again.
No, laugh. It's. I mean, I try to make it a funny story. So
yeah, it was, like most of it was something else popped in my head that I was talking about when we made the joke about punching another guy. And it was like I was like in my head I was like, oh, that'd be a really good wingman. And then what popped in my head is when on a few different occasions, this is gonna be my next question. Peter has been my wingman, and because he has wings.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
But on 2 different occasions, he's been my wingman. So that was my question. Is like what either involving a dating or otherwise, what was something you didn't think would work that ended up working?
Like just in life?
In life. I mean, my 2 examples have to do with girls, but that's just that, like.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so one is with a girl. So you know how on like TV shows and movies, like it's the dick who gets the girls? I'm like, yo, there's no way this works in life. So, I'm like, fuck it. Let me try it. I go up, start talking to this girl. I'm a complete dick. I talk about myself. I'm like, I mean, like, you're kind of pretty. Oh, but I see like mole in her face or something. Like a compliment, but then like give it underhanded and say something like kind of negative about it. And it worked. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with like? Is your self-esteem this low? Like, what is happening? So, like, shockingly, me being a complete dick to her work. And I was like, I mean, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, you have a good night. Like,
yeah, I honestly, I don't think I could have the heart to do that.
No, I didn't have the heart to do it. Like, I could just get you in bed this easily and I'm a dick to you. Like, you poor girl. Like,
so, the 2 times, well, I have 3 times. 2 of them involves Peter. 1 was just a random time. Peter was not involved in the 3rd case.
okay.
But the first time was this girl and I were kind of like flirty, but not like. And she was in on the Peter stuff, you know, just like the jokes and the Snapchats and stuff. And one night she came over. My roommate was dating her friend, and then she's like, "Well, like if I'm over, like I don't want to be like third wheeling this person, right?" So we were flirting a little bit, and we were watching Food Network in my room on my bed. And I brought Peter up, and then I started to like, it sounds really weird when I say it, but it's honestly really adorable. Pretend Peter was like a dog, like licking her face, right? And she found it really cute, and she stayed the night. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Jimmy!
So I was just working like, I just pretend he was like a dog, like sniffing and licking. And then I was like, that shouldn't have worked as well as it did.
But
like, and the second time was our next door neighbors were having a party once, and my friend knew 2 of the people that lived there, and I kept referring, because he was in on it, so we were there, I kept referring to Peter, and they're like, who is this dude, why do you keep talking? So I brought Peter in, and we were playing Canes with like 12 people, you know, it was 4 people in the apartment, plus me and my friend, plus some people's like boyfriends, because it was an all-girls apartment, so it was like some of their boyfriends, some of their friends, all this stuff. Like it was a lot of people in a small apartment. So I brought Peter over, and Peter was taking turns playing Kings, and the girl next to me thought it was really funny that he would like flip a card and then like go straight to the floor if it was a 4, or like raise his wings up if it was a 7 or something like that, and she thought it was really funny, and ended up going back to her place. So
You need to just start taking Peter out with us.
I should. I want, like, I'm torn that I want to bring him out for Halloween, because I think it would be adorable. Like,
it'll work so well.
With the Wallace and Gromit outfit.
Oh no, yeah, come on, yeah, do it for Halloween. Yeah, bring out Peter.
And the other thing, it wasn't something I planned on doing. It just kind of happened. I was on the dance floor. I was 5th wheeling that night. Well, okay, so we went out. It was 5 of us that went out, and it was boyfriend and girlfriend established. They've been dating for like a couple years at this point, and our 2 other friends. Right, it was my friend's girlfriend's friend was dating from back home, and then it was his friend that we just knew that would go out with us all the time. So they weren't together at the beginning of the night. Then later on the dance floor, they were together. So,
Okay.
So it was kind of that, like, it wasn't intentionally 5th wheeling, but then all of a sudden I was on the dance floor, like,
what do I do?
Yeah. So this girl ended up, she came forward and she tripped on something, and I literally just caught her so she wouldn't like die. Like I literally just like a girl falling through my field of vision. My instinct is to put my arm out to not right. So I picked her up, and obviously with the music you gotta like shout like in their ear to like communicate. So I was like, "Are you okay? Is everything good?" And she just goes, "These shoes are the worst." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "These shoes cost me $80, and they're not even. And one of the heels broke, and now one's that." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, sorry to hear about your shoes." And then she just started dancing with me, and I'm just like, "Okay, this is happening." And then it was a guy tried to dance with her as she was dancing with me, and she had like a couple other friends, and they kind of like pushed him away. So I don't know if they knew each other or not. I didn't get the details, but at the end of the night, he literally like grabbed her hand, and I pulled her other hand like across me to like her friends who were like going up the front entrance, and there was a back entrance that some other people like went out of the bar, and he was like trying to like forcibly pull her, and I like pulled her away, and she went home with her friends that night. But I was just like, what just happened? She tripped into me, and that's how I get a girl to dance. Like, should I start like sticking my feet out and then just have girls fall into me? Like,
dude,
it was very unexpected.
So like for me, like the whole like hookup dancing culture like wasn't big for me in in high school, and then I was in college, and it was like my second or third like frat party. You know, so it's like a basement.
Yeah.
It's crowded. I was literally just scooching through just to get to the keg, and a girl starts dancing on me and then turns around and starts kissing me. I'm like, isn't this easy? Like, I'm trying to get a beer and like, is it this easy? Like, it's crazy.
So before I get into the next, the first that popped in my head was, you know, Ned's Declassified?
Love that show.
Right?
Yes, yes.
So there's a scene where I think they're going to like homecomings or something. So he's giving tips on high school dances, and he says,
and you like dance your way through.
You dance your way.
Yeah,
that's what I do every time. I don't try to
that's why
move. I just like
no, yeah. I was like dancing my way through, and she's like, "Oh, what's up, boy?" I'm like, I'm trying to. Oh.
So.
But no, like that's why I danced my way through because of Ned.
Yeah. That's what I was with my friends at their college, and they had this like mini house party. It was like a pregame, but it ended up just being a party because nobody ended up leaving. Like it was a party.
One of those.
That's what it was. Yeah. And I literally like we were out on the balcony talking. It was a fairly big balcony, so there was like a few of us out there. We were talking, and I noticed one girl like kind of dancing by herself. And I was like, she's pretty cute. Like I met her we had to take the shuttle over for like the campus shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking, so we knew who we were. It wasn't just like a random girl. But I was like, oh, she's by herself on dance. And I literally walked up and she just starts dancing. I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm just like, okay.
I had a friend in college. Well, we're still friends now, but I met him in college. His go-to move was like, it sounds so creepy, but I promise he's not a creep. He never did anything. But his like go-to move while at parties was to like go for the stragglers. So like the girls who were like off by themselves, he like trying to talk to them and dance with them. It sounds creepy when you say it out loud.
Yeah,
but it was like, oh.
Well, I mean that's not. I wouldn't say like go for a straggler. That's a weird way of putting it. But sometimes you do see someone. I don't know from the girl's point of view. I'd love to get a girl's point of view on this. But as a guy, sometimes you do see like a group of like 3 or 4 girls, and 3 of them have guys behind them, and 1 doesn't, and you can kind of tell.
That's so easy.
Yeah, but sometimes I do like, as who I am as a person, I'm gonna like make eye contact and ask first. I'm not just gonna.
Oh no! You just walk up and grab him like, hey, like you want to dance, like some kind of motion, like you need like something. You just don't go up and just grab him and.
Yeah.
No. That's assault, brother.
In the words of Billy Madison. Like I've literally like seen it one time. I was at one of the college bars, and it was 3 girls total, and 2 of them were dancing, and the one guy motioned to the third guy. He was kind of sleazy though, so I wasn't like 100% on what was going on. So I asked the girl to dance, and we danced for a little while, but she turned around. She's like, I'm here with my friend. I'm not here for anything. I was like, okay, and then I just joined my friend on the other side dance floor. Like, yeah, like it has happened where the straggler like isn't interested, and that's why they're straggling. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do we get on that topic?
That was my question. What worked and unexpectedly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there we go. Found our way back.
Yeah, as we do. Well, we're almost at an hour and a half. I was going to try to fit in one more question, but I'm out of drink. I'm trying to think of. I had another question in mind, but through all our rants. This is so lazy. I think that'll be it. Unless you had another question.
No, I just came with my one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this one's a little longer. We've had more. I think our top was an hour 36.
Oh, okay.
I think it's our longest one.
Longer, but it's worth it.
That was similar to what we did today. It's like we told stories the entire time, and then one story I do another,
and then it's crazy how the mind works.
Yeah. So, and that was before we did the questions and the grievances. That was literally an hour and a half of just us talking.
Sheesh.
That was a fun episode. Yeah. All right. So let us know what you think. How society has changed. What do you think of what did we cover? Ghosting, the hookup dating culture, the technology, how we interact in public places, what you've noticed. You know, share us. Definitely share. Love for some comments. But definitely
give us feedback.
Yeah, episode 34 was this episode. Yeah, so
Yes.
33 got retweeted by, I think, one of your friends who does the...
Foxy Grandpa?
Yeah.
He's the YouTube gamer streamer.
Yeah, so we are reaching other people-ish. Share and retweet and do stuff. That's what... We could get 0 likes, but if we have like 5 shares and retweets, I'd rather take that than
that's
5 likes.
Yes.
You know?
Get the word out there.
So I appreciate like stuff, but
makes us feel good.
yeah, it feels good. But you know, do your thing. Just share. That's all we ask. And listen. Don't just share without listening. That'd be weird.
I mean, you
could.
It'd just be a little weird.
It'd just be like, hey, you should listen to this. Oh, what's it about?
I don't know.
Stuff. So yeah, let us know what you. Yeah, let us know. Share. Get the word out. Spread the word. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Sqwadcast with a W. SQWAD. In case you thought the W went somewhere else. Cast. You ever see that meme? It's like people messing with names on Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like Steven with a PH and it's PHTE. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Any last words, comments?
See you guys next time.
Yep. All right. Squad out.
That was a good episode.
It was.